Hello. Have you ever read the Bible? This is a yes or no question, mind you. The answer is yes. Yes, I have read the Holy Bible. I've read it from cover to cover. I've read it in its entirety, including the Apocrypha. I've read the entire Bible out loud, no less, so that I wasn't missing anything. And on top of that, I only permitted myself 3 pages per day. Took an entire year to make my way through it, but I did. And I didn't miss anything. Now, you have asked me a question and I have answered it. But I guarantee everybody else out there, whoever sent in this question, has a dozen more questions to ask now that they've opened the door. I guarantee you that. You want to bet? Did you ever go on an ocean cruise ship? Have I ever taken an ocean cruise on a cruise ship? No, I have not. I always wanted to, and in my daydreams I still do, but the truth is I no longer really have that desire because it would have to be, by needs be, a contemporary ocean cruise with contemporary people. And that sounds so awful that as much as I've always secretly longed to take an ocean cruise, I think I would just as rather say no. That really is how immeasurably I loathe people, being around people. I just do not like people. Have you ever met any local celebrities? Local celebrities? You mean celebrities that are provincially popular here? Like the guy downtown who dresses up like Elvis? Who I have never met, in fact, but who I know is quite celebrated and beloved. Yes, I did. I did meet one years ago. It was at some gala affair for thespians and actors and actresses in the local theater. It was at one of those great big ballrooms downtown, and I was being introduced around, and I met none other than the voice behind Puertas a mi derecha, the man himself. He was this short, fat, dumpy little Mexican guy. Real nice. And yes, he was well aware of the pork chops I'm gonna get you cross-reference. Yeah. He was a nice guy. What's the craziest experience you've ever had on the bus? Every time you set foot on a bus is a crazy experience. And it's just not just me. Between you and I, we could fill volumes. Would you settle for one of 1,000? I was on the number 33 once, back when it used to go down Fremont, and it was right when it was approaching that intersection at 57th and Fremont, where Justin and Alicia used to live. And I was way in the back. And there was this guy riding in those sideways seats, you know, where you have your back to the window. And he was hunkered forward, just kind of staring forward, deadpan expression, frowning. And from head to toe, he had the mannerisms, the vibe, the presence of a cop. To judge by what he was wearing, navy blue, a uniform shirt, placket pockets, epaulets, patches, uniform trousers tucked into combat boots, and a basket weave utility belt. If you know what the basket weave pattern is, it's typical to law enforcement. or it used to be before it all went over to Kevlar. Military haircut, clipped, neat mustache, just everything. Cop from head to toe, and most likely was like a really very high-end mercenary level security guard. That's most likely what this guy was. Like I say, he was hunkered forward, staring forward, as if daring anybody to approach him. His whole manner was borderline belligerent. And then the bus went through that intersection. And as you know, on the other side of the intersection, sprawling like forest lawn, is that massive cemetery. Acres and acres of graves, over 100 years old. And he's sitting with his back to the window, and he doesn't realize that, you know, he's passing that cemetery, and I guess he sees it out of the corner of his eye, and he looks, and he sees it, and he realizes that it's passing by, and he spins around, and he almost climbs up into the seat, you know, like a little kid. His face transforms into this brightly lit smile. And so help me God, my hand to God, this guy turns around in the seat, looks out of that window at the cemetery going past, and does this. Hi everybody! Hi everyone! Hi! Hi everybody! Waving at all the headstones, at all the tombstones, waving at all of the graves, as the bus goes sailing past the cemetery. Now, after having had umpteenth encounters with some mental case nut like that, is it any wonder that you have long since reached the conclusion that over half the population in this city belongs in a straitjacket?